minutes. Last week, he scored 84 points in 85 minutes on 54% shooting with 4 rebounds, 3 assists, and 2 block shots per game. His great playing has led the Bulls to 3 wins in their last 4 games and a tie for the 8th spot in the Eastern Conference playoffs. The exciting Michael Jordan is next, here on the Superstation. Live from the windy city of Chicago, it's the Bulls hosting the Milwaukee Bucks.
CBS Sports presents NBA Basketball, America's Game. Give you the edge. By Pizza Hut, the home of pan pizza and Priazzo.
This is Rick Barry along with Bill Russell welcoming you to Chicago Stadium, where we'll be getting our first look at Michael Jordan here on the Superstation. Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us this evening. A game that is very important to the Chicago Bulls. They have won 2 games in a row, 4 of their last 6, and they find themselves right now deadlocked with the Cleveland Cavaliers for that 8th and final spot in the Eastern Conference playoff picture. 4 games remaining for Jordan. A lot of controversy been involving Michael and his playing time since his return on March the 14th. Tonight, he will be making his first start. Now, we're going to be talking at halftime, Bill and I, with Jerry Reinsdorf, the owner of the Chicago Bulls, to try and get his answer to the controversy involving those minutes for Michael Jordan. Now, we also were wondering just exactly what is the status on Michael Jordan's foot, so we asked him about it.
Well, my injury right now has been improving each game. I'm not conscious of my injury. I'm going out and playing. I really feel good, and I have total confidence that my injury is completely healed.
Bill, it's really amazing what a player of Michael Jordan's stature can do for a ball club.
That's right, Rick. So one thing he does is he creates a certain security, because he's going to do something. And plus, he creates great opportunities for the other players because the other teams have to be aware of him at all times, offensively and defensively, because he's been getting a lot of steals since he's been back. The Bucks are a team. But I think Ricky Pierce, who is developing into one of the great 6 men in the NBA, will come to his own tonight as a starter. Well, he came to the Bucks as sort of a throw-in on the deal that brought Terry Cummings, and he's turned out to be a very, very pleasant surprise for Don Nelson and the Bucks.
We get a look at all of those players, and especially that close-up look at Michael Jordan when we return with the start of tonight's ballgame. For our 2-time head NBA coach, or actually Coach of the Year, Don Nelson, it'll be Paul Pressey, Terry Cummings, Randy Breuer, Craig Hodges, and Ricky Pierce. There's a good look at Don's assistant Mike Schuller on the left, just went out of the screen. Gary St. Jean, his other assistant behind him. Stan Albeck, head coach of the Chicago Bulls, will be putting Gene Banks, Orlando Woolridge, Charles Oakley, Michael Jordan, and Carl Macy out for his starting group. There's a good look at around the league, San Antonio, New Jersey. And of course, he's done a nice job as you look at the officials for tonight's game. That's Jess Kersey on the left, Dick Bavetta on the right, who has Sister Simone saying her usual prayers for Dick to get through the game safely.
You think he's going to need it?
Depends if he's under the basket when a couple of the big guys come down, he may.
Rick, as I look at the Chicago Bulls, and they've had some tough injuries too because of these adverse conditions. And you think that if things go well, when these guys are all healthy, they'll have a real good bench been developed.
Well, Charles Oakley is really developing into one of the outstanding rebounders in the league. March had 26 rebounds against the Milwaukee Bucks. That's high of any player in the NBA this season. Michael Jordan. Didn't take long for Michael to show you that they're happy to have him back.
Yeah, Terry Cummings made a gamble on that play and definitely lost that one.
Breuer. That's Gene Banks. Milwaukee back very well. Jordan to Oakley.
And those are the things, Rick, that make the other guys so much better because they'll start moving because he's passing, and they'll be clear when the other guys have the ball to get good passes to get some easy hoops.
He developed in the last few years to one of the outstanding team leaders and kind of started that point forward position as Michael Jordan comes through with another penetrating drive, and he'll go to the free throw line as well. So the Bulls have 6 points. Michael Jordan has been involved in all 6 of the points, 2 baskets and a fine assist to Oakley. Here's that play again as he knifes through the middle, and it's hard to see the foul. We were screened off. Nice screen by Orlando Woolridge, or our cameraman.
It may have been the best screen he said all year.
Oh, Bill. I don't know if Orlando would appreciate that. And Michael Jordan with his hand in all of the scoring of the Chicago Bulls. 10:20 left to play here in the first quarter. The Banks battling inside against Terry Cummings. Jordan on the double team. That's Woolridge. First battling with Chicago for that last playoff spot. Terry Cummings can't find the mark. Gene Banks knocked it out of bounds. 8-2 on the inside scoring in favor of Chicago. Jordan got caught coming down against Breuer.
Well, Breuer knew he was in trouble when he faced up one-on-one with Michael Jordan in the open court.
Most players would be in trouble when you see that. I used to hate
Especially
seeing
if you're over
Julius
7
Erving
feet,
come
right.
at you that way. Is another one.
And if you're over 7 feet, it's really scary, Rick.
Milwaukee with the trapping on Michael. Breuer with a good job takes it away, and Hodges has it stolen back. You can see the type of defense that the Bucks throw at teams. They'll double team you. They are very innovative. Don Nelson very creative with the defense of the Milwaukee Bucks. One of the reasons they're one of the best teams in the league year after year. That's Woolridge, his first points of the game.
Well, some people think that that they're gimmicks.
Whatever they are, they work.
Well, what they do is really keep you from picking up a rhythm and mess with your timing, so that it's not easy to do a lot of things you want to do to the team, to the other team.
Just joined us. Michael Jordan has started his first game since returning on March the 14th. He is supposedly not going to play any more than 32 minutes in tonight's ball game, which would be his highest minute total since returning. And Michael Jordan now has 7 points. Himself into great shape and playing well the last 6 games. Paul Pressey been playing well all season. First quarter. Three-pointer, Jordan, count it. And I'm sure that Ricky Pierce was surprised on that one. Jordan now with 10 points.
I think the only one not surprised was Michael Jordan.
Good pass inside. Pierce has it blocked by Woolridge as Pressey hit him on the cut to the basket. Foul is going to be called against Woolridge. You get any time to do anything, you had to be a little selfish. He said, we didn't have a team style. He said it wasn't difficult to get into the Bucks style because that's the way that they play. And he said, I fit in. And he really is really pleased to be with the Bucks. Keep playing this way, I said, and you'll have a nice negotiation. Michael Jordan to Kyle Macy. That's Breuer. He's hurt them so much, and that's exactly what they've done. As Reynolds misfires, that's Woolridge again.
I think one of the reasons the Bucks are staying in this game.
As he had. Pressey, not a good pass that time as Breuer didn't quite make the roll. That's Jordan. He's got on the right Banks. Reynolds with the defense made him change the shot, but also drew the foul. That's Michael Jordan again, a part of the offense of the Bulls as he hits Banks. There's Reynolds coming over. 12-point lead for the Chicago Bulls. Their largest lead of the ball game. It's Craig Hodges. Oakley. Cummings almost took his legs out from under him on that play. Michael Jordan. Mortar shots there. Though the last one was a soft mortar. If there is such a thing. Cummings counted if it goes. Jordan commits the foul, comes over to help. No, that's Banks. Banks with the foul. Michael had come over to help out, but they called Banks for the foul down low. The Iceman, George Gervin, entering the game for Michael Jordan, who has played just a little bit under 8 minutes. So he still has 24 minutes of action left for tonight.
Now I was talking to John Kerr, who's does radio for the Bulls, and he says Michael Jordan's really funny to watch him play because he knows he only got 7 minutes, and he tries to get 24 minutes of things done in that 7 minutes.
And I tell you what, recently he's been doing a lot. As he indicated last week, he was up as a nominee for Player of the Week. He had 84 points in 85 minutes. And with George Gervin entered the game right now, he had started the previous 75 games for Chicago, and now he's coming off the bench with Michael Jordan having started. And here comes some pressure by Milwaukee. Cummings from Hodges. Milwaukee with an easy 2. for Don Nelson out there now. They're going to put a lot more pressure on. Cummings with another easy basket, and Chicago's defense was non-existent that time as part of the weak side. That's
what Don Nelson has done with his substitution with this team. They are a good team defensively laterally. If there's going to be a hitter and a hittee, make sure you're the hitter.
Mike Glenn, who's come into the game from Milwaukee, got that last rebound. He got hit in the face, no foul. He's off the other end of the court. May have gotten hit in the eye. Hopefully it's not serious, but the Bucks, meanwhile, have a 5-on-4 advantage. Cummings is wide open. Can't get it to drop. Third try for Cummings, and he gets it in.
I think Banks might have a slight headache. He got hit above the eye, it looks like.
7 now for Terry Cummings. Minute and a half to play for Chicago. Kenny Fields knocks it out of bounds and almost joined us here at our table.
Now, what the Bulls have not done so far is really exploit the fact that when they beat the double team and the trapping defense, they're not attacking it all the way to the basket or getting the dunk shots or layups that they should.
Gervin from about 20. The Iceman with 28 seconds left in the quarter with his first points of the game. 5 on the shot clock. Reynolds to Fields, 2 on the shot clock. Kenny Fields, it's 5 seconds, but out of the gate quickly. They lead the Milwaukee Bucks by 11.
Basketball, the American game played.
I would be a little concerned if I got the kind of performance from Michael Jordan that I'd gotten to start the game. Got the team up to a good start. They're shooting 65%. The other team shooting 32%. And you got 11-point lead.
Took it away.
That's not
Look
much.
at the speed. Reynolds, bad pass inside. Nice play by Hodges. Back to Reynolds. Foul by Paxson, and Reynolds will go to the free throw line and count the basket. That's almost 80%. Milwaukee was only 6 for 17. That's all of those easy missed in close shots. Fields to Pierce, who just returned. And Ricky Pierce.
Good outlet pass by Lister.
That's Mike Glenn. Foul. Paxson. It'll count if it goes. Score it for Mike Glenn. Another foul against John Paxson. Jordan against 2 Bucks. He'll hold it out. Now he has 3 Bucks in the immediate vicinity. They isolate Jordan, but not for long, as Glenn comes over to double team, and they cause the turnover. Michael got caught in the air. Charles Oakley just threw Ricky Pierce out of the way for that rebound. Look at the Milwaukee defense. They work so hard. Bucks have cut that Chicago lead down to 7. Mike Glenn cuts it to 5. 22nd timeout being called by Stan Albeck and the Bulls. They've seen that 14-point lead get whittled to 5, Bill.
And one thing you notice about the Bucks, they work very hard defense. They've got a lot of little gimmicks. And they're trying a lot of different things.
They've done an outstanding job of getting back into this ball game with their defense. They could have that lead further for Milwaukee. Good move by Reynolds, and he cuts it to 3. Chicago having difficulty against the pressure of the Bucks. They turn it over again. Reynolds to Pierce, and it's a 1-point lead for the Bulls. And they have definitely thrown the Bulls out of sync, Bill. As a terrible pass by Oakley.
I thought it was coming to me, Rick.
And Stan Albeck is going to take a timeout because he has seen his team blow a 14-point lead. They lead now by 1, 6:35 remaining. He's got some work to do. At the Summit on Sunday, and they have something to prove at the Forum. And the Lakers are going to have to try to psychologically get that advantage, because those teams could very well meet for the championship in the West.
One quick pass, return pass, and then spread out the offense so that you stretch the 3-on-2 and take advantage of it.
Well, Banks threw up a prayer, and it was answered because Michael Jordan happened to be there for the rebound.
3 guys have to zone.
Shot clock goes inside of 10 for Milwaukee.
And the Bucks are really playing great defense tonight. Although they let the Bulls get off to an outstanding start. They've really closed the doors.
Michael Jordan from 17 feet, and he continues with his outstanding offensive play. That's very unusual. There's the double teaming that we talked about. Cummings with the hook. Guess he hooks with the left arm against Oakley, and just Kersey right there to call the foul as 5. Michael Jordan to the free throw line. Foul against Pierce. I guess he hit him with his hand somewhere.
All you have to do in a situation like that, Rick, is hold good position. And that's all that Ricky Pierce did, was hold position, and the offense obliged it by taking a tough shot.
16 for Michael Jordan. Bad pass by Cummings. 3
Michael
against
Jordan
1.
calls that one.
Woolridge lost it, and they throw it away. 3 against 1, and they don't capitalize. You cannot afford to do that. To Corzine. Michael Jordan. A good screen from Cummings. Michael Jordan. Back come the Bulls. 4 against 3.
A trio! He swatted 3 of them down. Jordan trying to break the tie. He does! The Bulls have taken the lead at 89-87. And Joanne Oldham was swatting them down in all directions.
America's game.
The fans have come to their feet.
It's fantastic.
Oh, man.
That's when he caught up that quick lineup defensively.
Bulls have run off 14-2 to come back into this big 13-point lead after it was cut to 1 by Milwaukee. 2 minutes to play here in the first half. Hodges and Oakley controls to Woolridge on the breakaway. He'll take it home. Great pass from Oakley. '20-second timeout for the Milwaukee Bucks. Bill, how frustrating can it turn back in? Michael Jordan has gone to the bench. Corzine has it blocked by Lister. Final 50 seconds, 3-pointer by Hodges. And a tip-in by Kenny Fields, who returned. Outstanding take-home by Kenny Fields on the miss by Hodges. Left in the game. Now there's 10 on the shot clock. Mike Glenn. A lot of controversy involving the Michael Jordan playing time situation, and they say in the papers here, Jerry, that you are the one that determines how many minutes he's going to play based on doctors' reports, and yet Michael says he wants to play more. Why don't you clarify the entire situation for everyone?
Well, first of all, it makes no sense for Michael to be playing at all. What the doctor said was that he had an 80 to 90% chance of not hurting himself if he played, 10 to 20% of hurting if he played. If he waited till next season, no chance of hurting himself. I thought that it didn't make any sense. The risk-reward ratio was out of whack, because if he hurts himself, his career could be over. But I couldn't talk him out of playing, and I didn't want to lose him as a person and as an individual. So we made a deal he could play, but it would be 7 minutes a half, and then we would go up very, very slowly. Michael just got frustrated and decided that he knew more than the doctors. He says he feels okay, therefore it's all right to play.
There's been things in the papers that Michael said that you guys didn't want to win, that you want to get in the lottery. That's why you wouldn't let him play. Now, what do you think when he said something like that?
Well, I was very upset when he said that. I had him into my office. We talked about it.
Thank you for joining us. We really appreciate it. And for your sake and all of the fans, I hope Michael does not get injured again. We'll be back with more halftime activities in just a moment.
It's Michael Jordan!
You need more than just natural talent to make it in the NBA. It takes a lot of hard work and good coaching. These Special Olympians are just starting out, but they're going to make it in their league, too. If you want something great to happen, encourage the people to join Special Olympics.
Write Special Olympics, Box 19106, Washington, D.C.
It gives us all something to shoot for, together.
Cummings, Pressey, and Hodges. So Ricky Pierce has gone back to the bench. Cummings got it back, so he made up for it. Wide open, Pressey on the left. 9 points in the first quarter, did not score in the second period. That's Oakley. 10 on the shot clock. This season, the Bulls travel to play the Cavaliers in Richfield. There's the two-man action we've seen so much of this season on the part of the NBA ball clubs. Reynolds on the penetration move will find himself at the free throw line. Foul is going to be called, I believe, against Michael Jordan.
Foul is on Michael Jordan,
Second team foul, second on Michael.
Jerry Reynolds.
I think they made sure that he was...
Those are the kind of plays that Don Nelson loves to see from his ball club. Woolridge.
And as I thought...
Terry Cummings can't find it. That's Michael Jordan. Chicago, it's at 19.
I think the Bucks Unless they do something drastic real quick, this game can get out of hand.
Hodges, good penetration. Michael Jordan slows things down for Chicago. Cummings against Woolridge. He'll go to the free throw line. Gervin has re-entered the ball game for Chicago. Ricky Pierce is in for Mo. And if you don't think Michael Jordan has big hands, that answers that. Inside of 10 on the shot clock. It's at 5. Oakley, good pass for Michael Jordan.
That was real close to offensive goaltending also.
Well, if Reynolds did touch it, then it should have been offensive goaltending and no basket. Just a double on Cummings. Hodges quickly to Breuer. He'll go to the line as Macy picks up the foul. Pressure by Milwaukee. Gervin breaks it through, and the block by Reynolds, and they're calling goaltending. The next NBA action Thursday night, right after the baseball game, the Braves and the Expos. Bill and I will bring you the action. Orlando Woolridge, remember the difficulties he had in our last telecast here with having left the team for a couple of games, a little personal problems that they had gotten straightened out, and I guess owner Jerry Reinsdorf has had his share of difficulties in dealing with the personnel this year.
I guess he's got to know these guys on a personal basis, a lot of them, huh?
Of course, you know, Quintin Dailey had left the team with personal problems, rehabilitation, and Orlando Woolridge.
Sound like they may be leading the league in personal problems, huh?
And scoreboard, the Cleveland Cavaliers continuing their slide into the NBA lottery with a loss to Detroit, a big loss. That means that the Bulls, if they can continue with this advantage they have here, which now stands at 15 points against the Milwaukee Bucks, that they will have a 1-game lead over the Cleveland Cavaliers in that race for the 8th and final playoff position in the Eastern Conference. And of course, no great prize goes along with that, because that means they'll face the Boston Celtics in the first round mini-series mark of the third quarter. There's the 2-man game.
2 minutes.
Shot clock inside of 10. It's at 5. 2. And that's going to be a 24-second violation as Woolridge wound up with the ball. Shot clock at 10. Pierce. Ricky Pierce hits the deck, no foul. Ricky Pierce. And Ricky Pierce is starting to warm up. Pierce with 2 consecutive baskets. He's got 14. And it's a 13-point lead for Chicago. A minute left to play. It's part of the Goodwill Games. And then the World Basketball Championships for men from Spain as Paul Mokeski pops one in for the Milwaukee Bucks. Oakley back into the ball game also for Chicago. Oakley, Banks, and Corzine in the front line with 10 on the shot clock. Michael Jordan comes up with there. Yeah. Shot clock to 10. Mokeski. Paul Mokeski. Milwaukee starting to warm up. Oakley. Jordan. Count it. Michael Jordan, even though he didn't fly high, he used his body so well, waited for the contact against Lister, and then got the shot up with very good touch indeed. 8 assists so far for Michael Jordan tonight. 9:10 to play in the ball game. That's Paxson on the deck. Reynolds to Mokeski with 2 on the shot clock. Mokeski gets knocked down by Banks and gets the basket.
And they finally try to get it to
He was yelling, waving his hands. Billy couldn't do much more than that. Oh, Glenn was open on the cut, but Reynolds couldn't get it to Milwaukee. Seven on the shot clock. Paxson tries to draw the charge. There's 2 on the shot clock now. Knocked away by Jordan. That's a 24-second violation against Milwaukee. His hand out there to keep it away from the big men. Put a nice soft arc on the ball, and an excellent touch on the part of Gene Banks.
And he shot it across his body too, Rick, which makes it real tough. Good pass.
Screen and roll. Good defense by Milwaukee to cover on Corzine. Shot clock goes inside of 10. It's at 5. Oakley tries for the offensive tip-in. Corzine keeps it alive. Oakley again. Blocked by Lister, and Mokeski control. Back comes Milwaukee. 4 against 3. Reynolds, count it. Foul Corzine.
Good move by Reynolds, because when he put that, he took the ball behind him with that left hand.
Timeout on the court. 6:58 remaining.
Rick, you know what I found interesting tonight at halftime, we were talking to the owner of the Bulls. I thought it was nice that he said that they were worried about losing Michael Jordan as a person if they didn't let him play. And they didn't want him to get mad at them so much so that it might affect the relationship between the player and the owner. And I think that's kind of nice.
Breuer again blocked by Jordan. As Lister and Oakley got into a little bit of a shoving and pulling match and hit the deck. They're still going at it as Dick Bavetta now steps in to try and stop it. Let's watch the play. There's the tip in by Breuer. He goes up once again to try and take it back up. Gets it blocked by Jordan. And still Oakley and Lister, after getting off the ground, obviously not too pleased with one another. Now Oakley just knocks Breuer out of the way. As you saw that left hand.
Maybe he takes that name. Maybe he take that name on the front of the jersey.
Now Sister Simone should say a few prayers for Dick. Off the double screen, Fields was wide open. That's going to be a foul. Michael Jordan reached in and grabbed Breuer as Reynolds is second team foul against the Bulls. 3 against the Bucks. 6:03 left in the ball game. As Woolridge, you see, getting in now for Coach Stan Albeck. Don Nelson came all the way down. Done such a marvelous job with this Milwaukee ball club. 3-pointer, Kenny Fields. 10 on the shot clock. Breuer over Corzine. Nice soft hook to Reynolds to Lister, who takes it home. White ball, which is Chicago.
I think Reynolds was standing out of bounds when he got the ball loose.
Oakley goes out as Jordan comes in. Chicago back very well. That's Breuer. Randy Breuer with a big basket. But the turnover. 3 against 2 for Milwaukee. Breuer. Jordan with the block, but Lister is there. As Breuer tried to take it home, Michael Jordan said, no chance, Randy. You saw the great timing on the part of Jordan, but the ball bounced into the hands of Lister. Now Oakley returns. That's what who the hand is for. He comes back in for Dave Corzine. Breuer, who has been a big force here in the last part of the ball game. Paxson can't handle it. Randy Breuer again. 8 points for Randy Breuer here down the stretch. Timeout Chicago. But it's only a 3-point lead for Chicago season. But right now, the Bucks have made this a great game, and they have a chance to cut it to 1. But credit a lot to their defense. Reynolds gets open. Michael Jordan. Big rebound, and that was over the rim. No,
that was over the rim. That was over the rim.
The pressure by Milwaukee. 1 minute left to play for the Bucks. Let's see what they can come up with right now. Talked about Jerry Reynolds. He's got 10 assists tonight. He's done an excellent job. Fields counted if it goes, and that would have made things. Fields has 12 rebounds to go along with his 9 points, make it 10. Bulls by 5. Away by Lister. They have 5 seconds to get it over half court. There's the game clock, top of your screen.
Stan Albeck picked the ball up and started giving instructions before we get the ball to the referee.
Michael Jordan. Count it.
That's the way you beat the full-court press.
Foul on Breuer. And Michael did it with an eye signal to Banks, taking it out of bounds. He just gave him a look and said, I'm going. Now here it comes again. There's Michael, gave him the look and set up Reynolds. And here's the breakaway, and no chance for Breuer as the speed of Michael Jordan comes through. He completes the 3-point play. They're calling a timeout with 41 seconds remaining. All right, Bill, if you're going to be Don Nelson now, and if it stays this way, that means Chicago will now have a one-game lead over Cleveland for that last playoff spot.
If it doesn't stay this way, I would be the most surprised person. Is this Cook County?
I think it is. But we will also remind you that we'll have more NBA action on Thursday night following Braves baseball when they take on the Expos. Take a look at how well in the last 6 games Chicago has played with Michael Jordan back in the game. They've won 4 of 6. Look what happened. Their offensive average has gone up 3 points. Their defensive average, they've held the other teams to 2.5 points less, a 5.5-point swing.
That's a big difference.
One of the reasons they're winning, and they've won now. This will be 5 of their last 7 games and 3 in a row for Chicago. And all they need to do is hold it off for 40 seconds. 3-pointer, Fields. Michael Jordan kept it alive, and Oakley controls, and that should just about take care of things. Home. Final 22 seconds. Reynolds, Jerry Reynolds, who had a great game for Don Nelson. Michael Jordan, 3-pointer. And the Chicago Bulls now with a 1-game advantage over Cleveland for that 8th playoff position as Michael Jordan congratulates his opponents, and he's put in another fine effort for Chicago. We'll be back with our player of the game and some final comments in just a moment. The final, Chicago 107, Milwaukee 101. Atlanta Braves in the opening of baseball season here on the Superstation. The start of 148 games you can see right here on WTBS. And then, of course, Thursday night, approximately 10:20 Eastern time, it will be the Houston Rockets against the Los Angeles Lakers from the Forum. Bill and I will be there to bring you all of that action. That will come right after Braves baseball, also against the Expos. We want to thank our entire crew tonight for another outstanding job. Michael Lardner, our producer, our director, Mark Goldsmith. I thank Chicago Bulls 107 to 101. They now are in 8th place for that playoff position in the Eastern Conference. From Chicago Stadium, for Bill Russell, Rick Barry, good night, everyone.